Hi, I'm your host, Eric Borneaux.
Hi, Eric Borneaux. I'm your host, Knisk.
And you're listening to the God's Plan Podcast. And we are live. Welcome back to the God's Plan Podcast. Notice how I said back, because this is actually our second episode.
Our first episode.
That's right. Drake did not sue us and get us shut. He did not get us shut down just yet.
But we were spooked enough to change the song.
Yeah, you might have noticed our intro song was a little different this time. It's pretty sexy. It's pretty, gets you a little amped. It's a little serious sounding, the tone. It's what we're making do. We're making do with what we have, okay? Yours truly actually produced that song. So if you want to get in touch with me, hit me up at Maverick Music.
At Maverick Music?
That's
at Slap Happy Beats.
And that's my LinkedIn account.
And that would be...
So, all right,
.org.
Enough of the tomfoolery. We have a very, very important man with us today. Let me put on the sound.
Mr.
Let me just
Should I call you
toggle
Mr.?
this. We have a very important man with us today. He is a retired professional PC gamer. He's one of the smartest people I know. Nowadays, he's just trading stocks on Wall Street. He's actually a billionaire. And
Not a billionaire.
In fact, he shares the same first name as the Unabomber.
Oh.
Welcome to the God's Plan Podcast, TJ.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy
Oh,
to be
wait,
here.
is that clap? I don't know if the filter's on that. You can actually hear us clap.
Did you hear us clapping?
Did you hear us clap?
No. Didn't you turn it off?
I toggled it, so hold on. We'll have to do another clap for you. All right, here we go. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Applause.
Awesome.
Very,
Awesome.
very nice. Thank you very much.
So
I'm sure the clapping went through the first recording.
it probably...
It'll be there twice.
It probably did, actually.
It's only filtering Discord.
So I guess that means you got 2 rounds of applauses then.
And so
about
it's from
that,
both of us. You got
Yes.
4 rounds of applause.
Quadruple.
Within, 5 minutes?
Quad applause? Yeah.
Applause.
Great. Okay, great. So is there anything I missed in that intro? Did you want to, add anything? How do you
I was
identify?
thinking there was something I was going to say, but I forgot it. It's long. It's gone. Lost to the ether.
It's just, maybe one day someone will come up with an invention like Elon Musk, and he'll be able to harvest all the thoughts that got lost in the ether and then give them back to their rightful owners.
That would be insane.
There was one time I actually looked and saw the ether, and I stared at it for a long time.
Are we gonna
Sounds
have
like you need to be the one making this invention.
And all it did was stare back at me.
Are we gonna have 2 episodes in a row that just have to have drugs in the title? Anyways, so TJ, the reason we brought you on, okay, we want to hear a little bit of your background. Just give the folks a little bit of your background. I understand that you spent some time playing full-time PC games. I'm not quite exactly sure which game that was, but
How
you chose
politically
League of
correct
Legends.
these games were.
you chose this lifestyle over a normal more straight and narrow path instead of you were fuck the 9 to 5. I want to be a professional gamer for a living. So what's going around what time in your life was this? What was going through your mind?
So what?
So, I played games my whole life. Literally 2 years old, I was playing Super Nintendo all the time. Went to school, growing up, didn't like it. Never did my homework.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, I did well in school. I'm not stupid, but when I was in college, I got really sad. And I was like, what am I doing this all for? I have no desire to get any job that's working for someone in a corporate environment, in a cubicle all day. It just sounded so boring to me.
Fuck them, man.
And I was super depressed. And my friend, I didn't competitive gaming wasn't a thing, really. It was MLG back then. It was not.
Yeah, I remember those
Nowadays
days.
it's fancy and millionaires and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the esports has. We can talk a little bit about that, how esports has kind of evolved a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating string cheese.
Oh, the greatest form of cheese.
It is.
Very
It's all
portable
condiment.
form
Anyway.
of cheese as well.
It's definitely portable. I don't know. Cheese
It is.
Cheese Whiz is a contender for that.
Yes, quite the portable dairy products.
Anyway.
So you were getting out of school and you were thinking like, I don't want to work for this guy. I don't know how to tie a tie.
I
don't
was
want
like really drunk
I don't
at
wanna
school
tuck my
one
shirt
day,
in.
and I messaged my friend from Kansas, and we were talking, and he's
Shout
like,
out
"Dude, I
to
need
Fluffy."
a roommate." Yeah, shout outs to Fluffy.
Shout outs.
And I was like, "Dude, I'll come." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yup." And so I moved to Kansas with no plan,
So
and decided to start streaming League of Legends.
League of Legends. So there
Yep.
it is, the game. I've heard
The game.
a lot of people talk about this game, but I don't know what the hell it is.
It appears to be some kind of formation or league
It's
where people
it's
have achieved a certain status.
a league of extraordinary
No,
legends.
unfortunately, many of the league members are not legends.
So
Oh.
TJ, my
So is it up to you to create the legend?
Yes, you must create your legend.
Oh my.
my co-host here is a little bit of a meathead, and he's never really touched a PC game in his life. So could you give us like the really basics of like what the game entails? You know, what kind of a game is
So it's a 5 versus 5. You control one character. You level that character up in the game. You have some skills and items to buy in the game that reset every game. They're like 30-minute games on average, maybe a little less. And your goal is to get into the enemy base and defeat their building. They have a main building that wins you the game if you blow it up.
And what makes this such a politically correct game?
Who said it was politically correct?
I was aware that this was a PC game.
Personal computer.
Oh, like a desktop
Or a laptop.
or a lap. So you're telling me
It's PC because Donald Trump plays it.
so you're telling me that you control this character with your computer
Yeah, it's crazy.
and from the buttons on the computer.
Yeah.
Okay,
click and they move.
that's now we gotta unpack this a little bit.
Dude,
So the buttons on the
I don't think
computer
this
control
needs to
your
be
character.
Yep.
TJ, there are over
Dylan.
26 letters
Oh, Eric.
in the alphabet. Okay, so there are the numbers on there, and there are other symbols. So
Yep.
there's well over maybe 50 keys on
Yep.
a computer. And all of those are used to control your character?
No, just the mouse and about maybe 10 to 15 of those buttons on your keyboard.
Well, you see, here's the issue that I have is I only have 10 fingers. And you just
Yeah,
described
you gotta move
15.
them. They move, right?
They do.
All right. Yeah.
But I can't cover all of the buttons at once.
You don't need to press them all at the same time.
Okay, I think we have a good understanding of the game. It's like you're breaking it. You break in. You buy some gear. You buy some cool gear in game.
Yep.
You fight.
Get stronger.
You fight the other team. You break into their base, and then that's how you win. Essentially, the objective.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's
So
really precise. Each like a click 1 inch to the left versus 1 inch to the right could win you or lose you the game.
So let's talk about that a little. Like, let's the skills.
Inches.
Yeah, the skills that are involved, like actions per minute, is a term that I hear thrown around a lot in the esports gaming community.
Uh-huh.
Now that just refers to how many clicks,
How many buttons or clicks per minute?
Yeah.
Anything that affects the game.
Okay, so where would this game rank in terms of like how high the APM is compared to?
Certain people play it differently. The APM required for this game isn't insane. It's good to click maybe once a second or around there, to control specifically where you're standing.
Would you say that APM is like an indicator of how much skill the game takes? Like the higher it is,
No.
No.
It's one factor, but it's not if one game takes 1,000 APM, and that's the only thing you have to do, is just mash a button the fastest. It's not going to be harder than a very intricate game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially someone with really big sausage fingers could hit 2 keys at the same time, probably.
or
I have pretty
hit the
small
keys.
fingers, and I think I can hit like 4 keys at the same time.
Would you say you have nimble fingers, TJ?
Yeah, I definitely have nimble fingers.
Have you considered hand modeling?
Yeah, got nice hands. I'm looking at them right now, showing them off. They're a little skinny. They're kind of bony. Some people like that.
That could be like a good way to avoid working in a cubicle, perhaps.
I don't need.
You don't have to. I hear
I'm good on that.
I hear feet pictures are going for a lot these days.
Yeah, usually cute girls are the ones selling those.
Can you really? All right, I don't want.
There's
Let's get away from
niche
this.
for everything. Is that where you're going,
We'll
Eric?
keep
TJ, I'm sure
We'll keep it at that.
you just have the right marketing strategy.
I don't look at feet pictures. What? No.
That sounded surely convincing.
So TJ, getting back to the APM, the actions per minute, you're required to move your fingers in very precise ways, very deliberate ways. So I understand this can put a pretty big strain on your hands.
Yeah, I've got. The reason I'm a retired professional gamer is because my hand isn't what it used to be. I don't know. I have issues using a mouse as well as I used to.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of pain sometimes in my palm and fingers.
What sort of things? I know recently we did like some hand strength type exercises with like different types of elastics.
Yeah, I have them. I got it right here. I'm holding it now.
How did we? Should we plug? No.
I don't even know their fucking company.
How did we?
Airisland.
So how did you cope? Overall with this injury, because you were playing very competitively, and then you were kind of just like abruptly like almost forced to just hang up the keys, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, like I was. So there's millions of players. There's over 1 million people on the North American server alone, and in season 3 when I played, I was top 50 on the North American server.
Holy shit!
Wait.
That honestly is incredible.
I know it is.
Part of that.
Like the next year after that, I was nowhere near the same. I moved back from California back to Connecticut, and then like my whole setup changed. I was starting to get like hand issues, and everything kind of sucked. And it was really a depressing time for me.
Sure. Yeah.
I was very confused about what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah, it's like it really is like someone who's used to just playing a sport and then they get an injury. It's
right.
Very pretty much.
Except like in sports, a lot of people that have injuries, if they were smart with their money, they'll be like super rich at that point.
Yes.
But I didn't really make too much income playing professional gaming. I made a lot of it boosting, which is like someone lets me use their account and I get them a higher rank.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask that because I think a lot of people would be curious what the money's like. I don't know if that's too personal.
If you're really fucking good, it's pretty good, but it's not like, I don't know, it depends what
I mean, back then it was probably a lot harder just because the community was still like in its incipient stages.
It was smaller and nobody knew how big it would be, really.
It's certainly blown up a lot.
Oh yeah, the money is a lot better nowadays, but you have to be good. You have to be the best. The competition is also much better nowadays. It's nuts.
Okay, so here you are. You said we already kind of jumped ahead a little and talked about you leaving California, but I want to go back. Is this because I'm picturing some kind of like incubation house like from Silicon Valley where like I just watched we just watched The Social Network. Great movie, by the way. They had like a zip line going from their chimney rooftop down into their pool. Like this is what I'm picturing, like a bunch of gamers living in a house. Just please tell me it was something like that.
There was no zip line. There were a lot of parties.
Okay.
A lot of beer pong.
There might have been some drugs. Might have been
some drugs. There were some good times. I was underage at the time when I was out there. I turned 21 when I lived. There was a Twitch event at MLG at a bar after the MLG.
Hold on, for the Twitch, what is that?
Twitch, the streaming site, twitch.tv.
I don't know. Some people might not know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, now they know. They can
now they
go
know.
See video game streaming on twitch.tv. Or there's just chatting on Twitch TV too.
Could I see like someone posting pictures of their feet on there, perhaps?
Probably
I mean,
not.
Asking.
That
Think
is
you'd get
why I
banned
do
doing
not have never heard of it.
No.
Probably want to go to like OnlyFans for that.
So you were saying there was this event that was being hosted.
Oh yeah, we had there were all sorts of pro gamers, like people in the tournament, MLG at the party, and a bunch of them were underage too.
Mm.
And so I was sitting in the back drinking my beer with my friends, and there were two types of wristbands for the party. One was alcohol allowed, and one was not. I had the not allowed one, obviously, and one of the staff members like walked by me as I'm taking a huge sip of my beer and locked eyes with me, and he's like, "Let me see your wristband." I was like, glug, 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 finished my beer, and then I was like, well, gotta go.
Atta boy.
And so I got kicked out.
Oh,
And a bunch of other people did too, who were professional gamers. And so we were like, hey, wanna go back to our house? And so we basically moved everybody that got kicked out to our house.
You got a
And-
zip line.
We have a zip line.
We didn't have a zip line, but we did get the police called that night. Our house was
Someone was
It
using
was like a
zip
townhouse. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like it's kind of like an apartment in that it's touching the walls of the next
line. Oh, okay.
building.
I mean,
So like,
I wouldn't know about that. I live in a mansion.
uh-huh.
We have a penthouse apartment.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, the walls are thin, basically, and we were gamers staying up till... At one point, I was waking up at 7 p.m. Not that I didn't do almost the same thing today.
Yeah.
So our neighbors hated us. The whole neighborhood had a email chain about our house.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
It was not good.
So who's
But,
the most famous gamer that you've met?
That I've met?
Yeah.
Like in person?
In person.
Maybe Afromoo?
Afro Moo.
Afromoo. Let's look at his Twitter. Hold on.
Yeah, pull that up for sure. Ooh, you don't have your sound suppressor on. I can hear your keys.
No, I don't. Because I don't have any background noise. He has 334,000 followers, and he follows me on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm one of 817 people he follows.
Oh.
You like my name dropping skills?
Look at that.
So
Look at you.
no, I mean I asked. So
Yeah.
did it?
Oh, Double Lift. I spoke with Double Lift. He's got almost 1 million followers, but he doesn't follow me.
Damn. Well, he will after he hears this episode of the God's Plan
yeah.
podcast, of course.
See you soon, Double Lift.
So you went to this party, you went back home, you got the cops called on you. Now, what I'm curious, I heard there was some kind of story about there was some kind of LAN house or LAN party or something.
Yeah, that would.
Something-
I mean, the LAN house is the house we were at. We had gamers that were like,
There was some story that I heard that was involving a disabled kid or something. From an undisclosed.
"What? Are you talking about Justin?"
Yes, that's.
No, that's nothing to do with this.
Oh.
This is like a Call of Duty tournament. You were there, Eric.
Yeah, I was probably too busy just crushing the tournament.
Yeah. I think
you
were
know
on
me.
Justin's team, actually.
No,
You participated in that story. Good.
Sorry, I must have been crushing it. I don't remember.
I was.
Yeah,
there.
he was. He was crushing a disabled kid in Call of Duty.
Stop it!
Way to
Stop
go!
It.
That's
Was
what
that
happened.
was that the kid who was wearing like gloves, like fingerless gloves? Because
No,
that kid
was
seemed
some
a
kid that
little.
crushed you.
No, the rules weren't set
You
the right.
had
No,
PTSD about
The-
fingerless gloves for like a year.
fuck, dude, the rules weren't set the right way. They said it was going to be a timed tournament, but then it ended up being like a score limit. Okay. No, I'm not salty. I'm not salty about that. Moving on.
That was great.
So just to stay on the whole,
Everybody shut up.
just the experience in living in this house, right, with a bunch of gamers. How many of them were living there?
So it started out with me, Gary, Jay, and Brian.
And did you guys all play League of the
We
same?
all played League. I met them all on League
Jeez.
a couple months before I moved in with them.
How cool! That must have been so exciting.
It was super fun. I also met this girl.
What? Girls don't play video games.
Well, she did, and
And
she
you got-
lived in Cali. When I moved out there, I was like, hey, want to come hang out? And so she came and lived with us for like a month.
Holy,
Uh-huh.
that's awesome. Did she have nice feet?
Yeah, actually.
Cool.
That's
Pretty nice feet.
That's good.
awesome.
Feet are, you know, they're important for walking.
Yeah.
That's what they were made for. So were these boots. Buy. Dollar Shave boots.
Oh, there's more to that though.
Timberland Grizz.
More people moved in as we lived there. There
Oh, boy.
came to be
Little boy.
4 more people living there. We had people living in the living room. They were sleeping on the couch.
Well, that's what the living room.
What a mess.
Imagine is for.
It was quite a mess. It was something else.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun though. There were a lot of issues. I had one of the people who I lived with, I will say to this day is my least favorite human being that I have personally interacted with.
Wow.
Shortly beating out one of my uncles, but it's an impressive job beating him out. Very, very well done by him.
All right. Hopefully I'm not near that
You're
top
not,
of that
you're
list.
like 5 or 10 below.
Oh,
Pretty good level.
perfect. All right, so I'm thinking let's just take a quick break here, just 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about.
Is there a theme for our break?
No, there's no theme, but I want to talk about how there was something really interesting that happened actually in the last couple months with current events and the COVID virus. You were one of the first people out of the people that I knew who were actually like taking this thing seriously, and I want to know like how you were able to anticipate this thing a lot faster than
Sure.
everyone else.
Sure.
So I will pause this for now and
See you soon.
yeah. This was our intermission music.
Intermission music. Plays every 15 minutes or so.
It's a really good song and there's no copyright infringement. We are back on the air.
How much time has been spent?
We
We don't know.
Well, we definitely took a break there, but you guys have no idea how long it was.
Yep.
Could have
It
been
was not 6 hours.
16 hours.
And,
Could have been.
Could have been. We could still be on break. Who knows? But
Could be.
maybe.
This power is just so intoxicating.
Okay, so we're back here with TJ Theodore Hanlon. Shares the same
Whoa.
first name as the Unabomber. He's
And Ted Bundy.
and Ted Bundy. See, I didn't even think about that. All the-
That's what I said to you last time you said it to me, and you just kind of ignored me. So
There's a lot of. Well, like I ignored that. I ignored that story about the game tournament.
you were there.
Dude, like I said, man, gamers got a game. I was just in the zone focusing. Somebody had to beat that disabled kid.
Justin did a good job.
Oh, I think I remember that now. Yeah, he fist pumped at the end and got super
He
amped.
came over to me. He's like, "Dude, did you see that?" And I was just like laughing.
Oh,
like, dude,
no.
look at who you're fighting.
Oh my god, I remember that now. Yeah, they paired us up randomly, and we didn't. Did we even know beforehand? I don't think we knew.
No, you're like
beforehand.
across it. There's like a TV screen set up, and you can't see the other people.
Yeah. Well. Hey,
But I was on the sidelines of watching it all. Justin's like drop shotting, sweating his mind off.
his APM was.
Off the charts.
The frames were out of control. He was pressing all the keys.
All right, so
There weren't any keys.
just to get back back to business here. We were speaking with TJ about how he was a professional gamer for a while, spent some time in California, lived with a bunch of cool degenerate gamer people, met some famous pros, you know, bumped shoulders with some of the bigger names in the professional gaming industry, and now he got afflicted. He got stricken by a very unfortunate, unforeseen injury of his hands, and it rendered him pretty much unable to play the games at the high competitive levels that
I
he was
can
playing.
fix that next time I see you, TJ.
Oh, I forgot to mention, our host, my co-host here, Dylan, is actually a personal trainer. He knows a lot about.
Corrective exercise
He
specialist.
can fix your hand.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, we were talking about your professional gaming career and how it ended, and on now how we're coping. But now, I want to get into.
Can I say one thing?
Oh my God, what?
Never mind.
All right, continue, Eric.
So, so I guess I don't know if you guys know this, but there's some kind of a virus going around,
Heard about that.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
disease. I don't know.
Well, the virus causes the disease.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a bad thing, and a lot of people nowadays are aware of it. But a few months ago, the same could not be said.
Couldn't be said, no.
So you specifically were one of the only people, if not the actual only person the very first person who told me about this virus and just made me aware of it and like tried to explain to me how serious it was, how serious it could get.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened a little, but I was overall like, I had a pretty dismissive attitude. And I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
actually just yesterday, how like the media was being shown on like that national press conference, whatever, people are just dismissive of this. But you were able to kind of suss out and figure out like, no, this is a thing that people should be concerned about. So how the hell were you able to get this before everyone else?
I mean, you just gotta you can't look at what people are saying. Like you said, most people were dismissive about it, and a lot of the media was like, coronavirus, it's the flu, or it's just the flu. It's not even here. It's in China. Like, what? Who cares? It's not even
China party.
China.
But like the world we live in,
Parade.
I don't know if you've seen Beginning of the Planet of the Apes,
Which one?
the new one, like the reboot of the movie. It's like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. That's what it's called, I think.
I only see the one with James Franco.
I might have seen it.
It's like at the end, it shows someone going into an airport and like coughing because he's got the virus. It's
Where the
airports spread shit like that so fucking quick, dude. The world we live in
An
is
ape
just
virus?
any kind of virus. But
Well,
yeah,
no, I'm more
that
interested
case,
in this
ape
virus. I thought this movie was about monkeys. Now you're telling me it's
Yeah.
about a virus?
Well, it's the Planet of the Apes. How did it get like that? It's because a virus spread.
I thought the apes took over the planet.
Oh.
Anyway, it sounds like you didn't watch the movie first of all.
Dude, my mind is blown right
I
now.
was always wondering where James Franco went. Did James Franco die of this plague?
I think he's still alive at the end of the movie. There might have been sequels that I didn't watch.
I never really thought
I
about
think
how
there
all the
was a
apes got
sequel.
there. I thought they just took normal monkeys and made them smart. Or like maybe an alien shit.
Yeah, that happened, and then there was a virus. I don't fucking remember.
Yo, maybe the monkeys were so smart they made a virus to turn...
That, yeah, maybe.
Wow. Cool. Well, sounds like something that could actually happen.
Yeah, but
So, okay,
when you
so
hear
you
about
were-
things like the virus not showing symptoms for 2 weeks, and you hear about things like China shutting down their fucking factories for months.
Yeah.
These are the things that I was seeing when people were still totally dismissive of it. And
Myself
I was reading
included.
things on Reddit, and there was so much censorship. That's what scared me a lot, is how much there were people trying to control the narrative of
Yeah.
what was being released to the public.
Yeah,
And
so that's a red flag. That's a red flag to look for when people are leaving out important information.
Red.
or like just trying to spin it when it's being spun like, oh, it's no big deal, and then you're seeing things that are showing the opposite, like travel bans, Wuhan getting locked down, all the cities there getting locked down. It was just so terrifying seeing such a big response from China,
Yeah.
and everyone in my personal life being totally oblivious and like, haha, we live in America.
Okay, so there are people out there like doomsday preppers, though. Where do you draw the line? Like, some people between like someone who's actually reasonably taking this information and like assessing it in like a pretty rational, critical way, and then someone who's just like way overly sensitive and overreacting, and like they're just skeptical.
Well,
to
like,
any
what
news.
in terms of overreacting, like
Like
going
someone
out
who
and
goes
looting
out.
shit would be overreacting, but going out and preparing, doomsday preppers, what's wrong with that?
What do you mean? What's wrong with that? You can't have like a
Prepping for doomsday means getting supplies.
prepping, it means a little more than getting supplies.
There's levels to it, I guess, but
True.
preparing.
So that's
is
what I'm trying to
prepping
figure.
means.
I'm trying to figure out like how do we parse out these levels? Because like someone could have read an article, the same article you read, and most likely somebody did read the same stuff that you read, and then they like reacted way more strongly than you did.
I mean, I don't think it's unwise to have a large stockpile of supplies, especially with what this virus has shown that can happen to the supply chains. I can't get frozen food right now.
Are you telling me you got a room full of toilet paper right now?
I have two. I normally buy a decent amount of toilet paper, but I have two large cases, or like two big bulk things of toilet paper. I don't know.
So-
it's not an.
So you're
it's
part
not
of
a
the
ridiculous
problem.
amount. What?
You're part of the problem.
No, I bought it in January.
Oh yeah,
I'm not part of it.
January?
I feel like insider trading to me.
What?
I don't know about you, TJ.
Okay. What don't you know about?
Okay, so we're tracking. You first heard of the virus, and then how did you know? How you were saying that some of the warehouses were getting shut down, and that's just something that
Factories.
never happens. Sorry, factories.
Yeah.
And that was
It
a
doesn't happen.
massive red flag, and people weren't taking it seriously.
We get so much of our shit from China, and like seeing them shut it down, it's like you gotta know something's gonna happen.
How do you separate fake news from real news?
Just gotta have a lot of sources and realize what's like. Some things just sound. If you just read everything and like think, yeah, that's true, then you're gonna have a really fucking stupid opinion of the world.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
just need to like. You need to do more research. If you learn something, you can't just be like, "Yep, that's right. I read it. That's
right.
the truth."
You're right.
Just
That's
like
the truth.
look for other sources.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's all I need to hear about that.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right. So now I guess the next question would be, you know the truth. You know how serious to take it, but other people don't. So what do you say to a friend like me who's just like, "Oh man, don't be crazy. You know, just don't overreact. Whatever. It's no big deal."
I mean, it's not black and white, right?
No, it's a virus.
What? It's vibrant?
It is not black and white. It is a virus. It's
Oh, yeah.
presumably has some type of
It's-
color.
I mean, when I see pictures of it, it's like gray and red.
Yes. It's definitely
Right.
not black and white. Nope.
Like it's like a sphere with a bunch of like red little like pieces of broccoli sticking out of it.
Yes.
Right. So,
Yeah, there's definitely no black and white in there.
well, there could be. There probably is, actually.
So are you changing your thesis and you're saying that this could actually be black and white?
No, it's actually a figure of speech, unfortunately. I was not referring to the color of the virus.
So what colors were you referring to?
I was referring to whether something is very polarized or not, or if it's very two-sided.
Okay,
And,
okay.
and is it?
He's talking about that movie with Tom
It's
Hanks.
not. It's
and the
it's a
train.
scale rather than 1 and 2
Like the-
Tom
specific
Hanks in the train.
points.
Which movie
Yeah.
is that? I think of Snowpiercer again?
So first, so now you're making references to Planet of the Apes, and now you're talking about the Polar Express, and we don't know.
Yes.
Let's,
Yes.
all right, we're gonna
white.
move. We're
That
gonna
was
move
white.
on
That
to a
was white.
segment of our podcast that we like to call "Questions from Fans."
Okay.
Justin, I'm sorry, TJ. There's a question from an anonymous fan. An anonymous fan whose name is. You done coughing?
Yes.
Whose name is most certainly.
Dustin.
Who?
Justin.
Sorry, there's a question from a completely anonymous fan whose name is definitely not Justin at all.
Not it.
And he wants to know if, TJ, do you love our Chieftain designer, Justin?
I do.
The new Chieftain designer of our podcast?
Real good guy.
He's the Chieftain designer.
Yeah, he's probably got a totem pole.
Yeah, he does excellent work. Shout out to Justin, our Chieftain designer.
Big shouts.
So for the record, you do love him.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. TJ does love Justin. Very lovable
time.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of good stuff we covered today. You know, your experience as a professional gamer, the trials and tribulations, and then the crushing injury, dealing with that, coping with that, moving back, now trading stocks, becoming a billionaire, day trading. We didn't really touch on that, but that's a whole different episode. And we talked about how you were able to anticipate the effects of the COVID-19 a lot sooner than most people. So, TJ, it's been great having you on. Are there anything you want to say to the fans?
Great being on.
How can they reach you?
You're all beautiful people watching this, listening to this.
Yep.
How can they find your feet pictures, TJ?
They can PayPal me $1,000, and I will send them right over.
All right, so if you would just his PayPal will be in the description for anybody looking to find a picture of TJ's feet.
Yes, that's at TJ Doomsday Prepper at
OnlyFans.
Footpan.com.
.me.
All right, awesome. Well, TJ, once again, love having you on, and
Love being on.
Thank you so
much. My
much.
favorite podcast. Did you know that?
Alrighty. Oh,
This guy.
TJ.
I can't get enough.
Well,
You're gonna make me your little cheeks through the laptop if I could.
make me cry on the This has been an Audio Vox recording. If you enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. I can't think of the handle right now, but we do have one.